So welcome back to the Chevy Florida Insider Fishing Report. As you can see, we have our special guest, Captain Alberto Mazza.
Yes, sir.
Did I say that right?
That's correct.
So, you know, we have the mini season as well as the regular season starting in August. So why don't we talk about what the FWC is looking for in our recreational fishing?
Well, let's start with the sports season, which starts next Wednesday, Thursday. It's a 12 bag limit throughout the state, except for Monroe County and Biscayne National Park. So we'll be looking for size limits, bag limits, and making sure they're harvested the correct way.
So what's the difference between Monroe, Dade, and all that?
Monroe County is 6 per person during the sports season, and Biscayne National Park, which is an area inside of Miami-Dade County, is also 6. The rest of the state will be 12 during the sports season.
All right, so obviously safety is a huge part of this weekend or this season. So what do we need to make sure we have on the boat?
That's the biggest thing we look for. Is we look at it as a public safety event. There'll be a lot of boats and a lot of swimmers in the water, so we make sure that everybody has their safety gear. The dive flag is very important. If you're going to be diving from a boat, it's a 20 by 24 size flag. If you're diving from the shoreline, it's 12 by 12. So we're going to be looking to make sure everybody's safe out there. That's the most important thing. Also, impaired boaters, and make sure everybody, if you're going to be drinking on the boat, have a designated driver while you're on the water.
All right, so the diver, how far can we venture from the flag?
The flag gives you on open water. If you're using your 20 by 24 flag, it's a 300-foot area where you need to stay within your flag as a diver. Also, boats need to respect that. If you're going to go in that area, you have to go at an idle speed.
All right, so let's go ahead and pull a couple lobsters out, Cap. First off, we're going to give you this one, and you're going to show us measuring it how the FWC is looking to measure it.
Well, this is a legal size lobster, and what we're looking for is
point it to that camera there.
Proper measuring is going to be, obviously you have to have a measuring device, which you'll need to have with you in the water at all times. These animals need to be measured in the water. You'll start at the tip of the carapace, and if you do it correctly, their eyes will usually move up. That's a sign that you're doing it right. And then you'll put the gauge over the back part of the carapace. If the gauge is if the carapace is outside of your gauge, that's a legal size lobster.
Okay.
So this right here, as you notice, it's a legal size lobster. The eyes popped up, so I'm on the actual part of the carapace. Big mistake we see is people will go on the outside of the eyeballs. That gives you like another fraction of an inch, and then they'll think it's a legal size lobster. So make sure you're touching hard shell here and hard shell in the back, and you won't have any problem. And then also, once you do that, flip them over and make sure you don't have an egg-bearing lobster, which you can tell.
So how will we look? We look right here, right?
Right here in the tail. If you look at this, is a female lobster, but she has no eggs. You see a big orange pouch there, that's egg-bearing. You can never have those. You got to return them immediately to the water.
You can tell, man, I'm really used to this stuff. As you can tell,
you're doing pretty good grabbing them. I'm pretty impressed. I got gloves on.
Well, these hands, Bob, look at these hands. They quit working a year ago.
This one you can tell is an undersized lobster, and we'll show you if you do the same thing, if you go to the carapace, the eyes pop up. If you notice in the back, there'll be a little gap where the gauge is falling over the carapace. This is an undersized lobster. That means the carapace is under 3 inches. You'll have to return this into the water.
All right, Nate, you and Mag go on a search. We brought Mag in. She's specially trained to find lobsters when people hide them in the boat or any different places.
And Mag's been trained, she'll find conch meat, she'll find turtles, she'll find all kinds of reptiles, and she specializes in lobsters.
So let's talk a little about we covered the head. Now, the head and the tail, does it have to be attached, Cap?
While you're on the waters, they have to be attached, but people ask us all the time, if you get back to the marina or to their docks, what's the rule there? Well, if you separate them at the dock or at the marina, we do a tail measurement, which is 5.5 inches on the tail measurement.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about night diving. Are you allowed to do that down in the Florida Keys?
And the Keys, night diving is prohibited during sports season, but bullinating is allowed. Once the regular season opens up August 6th, you can night dive and bullinate in the Keys.
All right. Man, it's so impressive to watch the dog. Now, how are we going to know when she finds anything?
She'll alert on area, and she'll give the handler a sign. If you look at her right now, she's she'll start scratching on it. So she gave the handler right there. She gave the handler a sign that he's trained. Get it.
Good job.
What's that kind of noise? All right, so let's check the Yeti real quick and see.
Stay.
Well, I wish I could get my kids to mind like that. Look inside. There is the lobster. Mag, you're the best.
Good job.
Good
Stay.
job.
Stay.
Mag.
All right, Cap, so one last question. If you have any questions, can't we go to the website? What website would that be?
Go to myfwc.com, and it's a very easy to use website. There'll be all the information on sizes, areas. There's a lot of different areas in the Keys. Everything will be on there.
Thank you so much for taking the time out of you guys' busy schedule. We appreciate everything the FWC does. Nate, thank you so much. Mag, you're the best. You can take that t-shirt home with you.
Mag's still trying to get that lobster out of that Yeti. Good job, Mag.
She did a